Good morning. Today we're learning about Mציעא Daf Nun Gimel. We're going to start Daf Nun Beis and Beis. Gufa. Omar Chizkiah. So we learned the din of Chizkiah. What did Chizkiah say? Ma'aseh Sheni she'en bo yishav pruta. If you have a Ma'aseh Sheni that you want to be poida, but it doesn't have a pruta in it, and we're going to see on Gimel and Beis that less than a pruta you can't be poida. So what do? Meaning that, let's say yesterday I was paid £100 worth of my sashimi on money, on £100. So now when I have less than a pruta today, I can be paid it on what's left over there on the money. Why? Because when I was paid yesterday, on £100, I didn't really have £100 worth of fruit. I had a bit less because you always give a bit extra. You can't give exact amount of fruit. So what you do is you give a little bit extra. So now I have left over there a bit extra that's not yet Maisa. So I can be paid on that extra, the less of a pruta of the choimish I have over here. That's the din of Chizkiah. Said the Gemara, I have a kash on Chizkiah. It's a Mishnah. A truma v'abikurim. Truma is where you give the kohen from the first truma, semaris that you give. Abikurim is a fruit that you bring up, the first fruit that grows on your tree, they bring up to Yerushalayim and to the Beis Hamikdash, and it goes to the koyanim. So all these things the Mishnah is going to say special dinim about that they don't apply by Maisa. So let's see. Chayavim aleh misa. If you eat it, someone who's not a kohen who eats it is chayav misa. Mashenke b'maisa sheni azar. Someone who's a Yisrael is allowed to eat it. The choimish, if you eat it, you have to give a choimish. Mashain came by Maisa, there's no such a din of giving a choimish. The whole din of Maisa of a choimish is when you poid it. But here we're talking about when you ate it. And over here, that you chayv choimish is talking about when you ate it b'shoigig. V'asurim lezorim, and only koyanim allowed to eat truma bikurim. Maisa is allowed to eat it, to be eaten by Yisrael. When nichsei kohen, they belong to a kohen, the bikurim and the truma, and he can be mikadesh a woman with it. Mashenkin by Maisa, the shit to hold the Maisa's mom and govoya. V'oilim be'echad v'mel. If my truma or bikurim got mixed with chulin, and there's 101 and chulin and one truma, one bikurim, we could say they all chulin now. They all become, we go after roiv and they all become bottle. The truma becomes, or the bikurim becomes bottle. Mashenkin by Maisa, we're going to see in the Gemara in a second. Before you eat bikurim and truma, you have to wash your hands. By Maisa, you don't need to. Ba'arav shemesh, it means if someone's tomeh, that he went to the mikvah, so there is something that he becomes straight away Torah, and some things like truma bikurim, they have to wait till the night to eat it, until you become fully Torah. So truma and bikurim, you have to wait till the night. Maisa, you don't have to wait till the night. Aryeh b'truma bikurim, all these things exist in truma and bikurim. Mashenke b'maisa sheni, they don't exist. All the things as we explained. My mashenke b'maisa. When we said that truma bikurim are oile be'echad v'mea and maisa not, what does that mean? Lav michlal. Doesn't that mean the maisa bota beruva? The maisa, you don't need 101 to mivatel it. Enough they have 5 pieces of chulin and 1 piece of maisa, they have your roiv chulin, it's already bottled, you don't need the echad umea. Being isa the Chizkiah, if Chizkiah's din is correct, that when you have less than a shava pruta, you could still be poided on moisa rishonos, aveli dova sheyesh lei maturim. There is a din derabanan that when do we say something's bottled beroiv? It's if you can't cancel it in a different way, if you can't solve the issue in another way, so it's okay, it's oile beroiv. But in a case where you have a solution, where let's say here you can be poided on money wherever it is in the mix, it should be okay. So the Gemara is basically saying if you don't hold of Chizkiah, you could be moikim this brisa. It's talking about where it's less than shava pruta and you don't have how to be poider it, and that's why it's oile beroiv. But if we hold of Chizkiah, aveli dova shematurim, because you can be poider on moisa rishonos. The din is afilu be'elef loy botil. Even if you have 1,000 chulin together of a mix with something that you have a way to solve the issue, let's say to be poider it, it's not batel b'roiv. So therefore we have a kash on Chizkiah. Why did it say that by Maisa it's batel b'roiv? L'chora you could be poider it. Tzedek more umimai de masha'im ke b'maisa. The Botaruva, how do you know that when we're saying in the Mishnah, Masha'en Gim B'maisa, in the B'maisa, it's Botar B'roiv, Dilma, maybe, Loi Botil Klal, maybe it means that Maisa is more Chomrudik, because it's over Shesh Maturim, even Be'elef it's not Botil, Truman Bikurim is Botil Be'echot 101. Masha'en Gim B'maisa, it's not Botil whatsoever, because it's over Shesh Maturim, because you can be poided, and Moisor Rishonos. Says the Gemara, no, loy motzi somer sorchi. You can't say that's pshat in the Mishnah. The gabe truma chumur the truma ktoni, kule the truma loy ktoni. The Gemara says that this Mishnah is talking about truma, and really the main nekuda is bikurim, and it's written in the Mishnah in Maseches Bikurim. So in the Maseches Bikurim, where the Mishnah is trying to say what's chomodik by bikurim that's not by Maisa, what's special about bikurim. So if the Mishnah is talking about Bikurim and it says that Bikurim is oile be'echod v'mea Maisa not, it can't mean that Maisa even be'elef is not bottle, because that means Maisa is more chomodik than Bikurim. And here we're trying to say, if it's in the Mishnah of Bikurim, we're trying to say why Bikurim is more chomodik. So it doesn't make any sense. It must mean that it's bottle b'roiv Maisa. Why is Maisa bottle b'roiv? It's dover shesh lo maturim. Said the Gemara, no. V'akotoni ve'nichse kohen. It says in the Mishnah that Bikurim and Truma is Nichsei Kohen, it belongs to a Kohen that he could be Mekadesh Isha. That's a Kuladika thing. Mashen came by Maisi, he can't be Mekadesh Isha. So we can see clearly that the Mishnah is also talking about Chumris and Kulis of Bikurim and Truma. Not only the Chumris of Bikurim and Truma, and therefore you have to say that Maisa is Bata Baroiv, that's more Kuladik. No, like we see that Nichsei Kohen is a Kuladika thing that by Truma Bikurim, that by Maisa it's more Chumudik, it's not Nichsei of the person who owns it, it's Momon Gavoya. So the same we could explain that also Legabe Bitul, that Maisa is not Bata whatsoever. Said the Gemara, Loisal Kedai to the Tanya, you know what, I'll bring you a Mefurish Brisa. Don't you learn the Tanya that we have a Mefurish Brisa, Behedia, clearly, Maisa Sheni, Bata Beruva. That if you have a mix of Maisa Sheni with Chulin, and you have a Roiv of Chulin, it's bottle, you don't need Echod v'mea, and for sure not be'elef. Be'eze Maisa Sheni Omru, and the Brisa says, what type of Maisa Sheni? We said it's bottle Beroiv, the Maisa Sheni B'Shal Pruta, that you can't be poider it l'choira. The Shenichnas, and in other cases, the Shenichnas in Yerushalayim v'yotzo, that you can't eat it. Once you went into Yerushalayim, and it went out, you can't eat it anymore, and the Gemara is going to discuss exactly why not. If we hold of Chizkiah that Maisa less than Shavar Pruta, there's a way how to be poida. Liabed le de Chizkiah, you should be poida on Moisor Rishonos, v'nechele, you should be mechalelet on Moisor Rishonos, and it's dover shesh le maturim. So why is the bottle beroiv? Kash on Chizkiah, Tzedek Morotera, it's the loy porik. It's talking about why I don't have Moisor Rishonos. What's the whole solution of Chizkiah that I could be poider it on Mois that I was poider yesterday or a week ago? It's talking about why I don't have such money. So therefore, I don't have a solution. It's dover sheile maturim. Correct the Gemara. V'neisa Maisa dehislei. You should bring Maisa that he's chayev, that he has, that wasn't mecholol whatsoever, worth half a pruta, and it's tarfinu, and he should be metarafit to the half a pruta that you have over here that's mixed with the chulin, and he should be pointed both on a pruta. So it's dover shesh le maturim. Even if he doesn't have money from yesterday, he should bring from now. So the Gemara d'oraisa v'd'rabbanon loy mitztarafi, that the ma'aser that I'm going to bring now extra is a chiyuv d'oraisa, and the one that's cancelled in roiv is d'rabbanon. Why is that? Because the whole din of dover shesh le maturim is a din d'rabbanon, b'midiraisa b'roiv it's bottle. So once it's bottled, midiraisa, it's not chulin, it's not ma'aser anymore. So I can't take something that's chayiv ma'aser d'rabbanon and add it to something that's chayiv d'oraisa and be pointed together. It won't be chal. It's a different type of chiyuv. So therefore, I don't have a solution. So the Gemara, I have a different solution for you. V'nei said mai. Let me bring Maisa that I'm suffik, another half a plot of Maisa that I'm suffik about. And it's Dmai is only chayev Maisa midirabonon, and therefore I could add it with this mix that's also only chayev midirabonon because midiraisa it's bottle, and I'll be pointed on one prota. Says the Gemara, no, you can't do that. If you bring vada dmai that's suffix and add it with this mix, might bring maisa that's vadai, and then it's a problem because the raisa to rabbanon mitzdarfis. So we prefer that you shouldn't do that, and we say that it's tova she'enei maturim because we don't let you bring the mai. Fragt the Gemara, v'neisei shtei prutos, let me bring 2 prutos, v'nechalel alai maisa b'pruto mechza, I'll be mechalel 1.5 prutos of maisa, of fruit of maisa that I have on it, and then I'm going to have half a pruta left. V'nechalel ahai, and this mix I have that's worth half a pruta, alahaich, on the other half a pruta that's left, because I have 2 prutas, I'm mechalel 1.5 and 1.5, I have half a pruta left, and the half a pruta left, it'll be the moisa rishonis, there'll be poida, this mix on it. Alahaich iser, so the Gemara, no, you can't do that. Misovre, so when you do such a thing, pruto, mechzo, tofso, that 1.5 toifus, and then you have half a pruta left. Tofsa shtei prutas, it's toifus, the whole 2 prutas, and I have half a pruta left. Loi, no. Pruta, tofsa pruta. 1 pruta of the fruit that I have is toifus, the other 1 pruta. Vechetzi pruta, and then I have half a pruta that's chayav midorai, so loi tofsa. It's not toifus because half a pruta you can't be mechalel. You don't look at it as one transaction as 1.5 on 2 prutas and the whole thing's chal. No, you look at it separately. 1 pruta is chal and the other pruta wasn't chal. Oh, okay, now we have half a pruta together with this mix. And let's do that on the second pruta? No. On that the Gemara says, Hoda havele deraisa v'derabonon, v'deraisa v'derabonon, mitzdarfid. The other half that I have left is deraisa, and the half that's a mix, it's only chiv derabonon. And as we said before, you can't be pointing them together. Correct the Gemara, I have a different solution. V'neisi isa, you said on 2 prutas I can't do this because half of 1 pruta won't be chal whatsoever. Let me bring a big coin of a isa, be mechalel on most of it, and leave a little bit left, and then this mix I have over here, half a pruta that's chayav midirabanan, I'll be poita on it, and therefore it's tova sheyesh la maturim. So the Gemara, you can't do that. Why not? Dilma osela asuye prutois. If you're going to let you do that, someone might not know the difference, and he might bring 2 prutas and do what we suggested before. And we said by 2 prutas, it won't be chal. The second pruta won't be chal whatsoever. And therefore you'll be trying to be poida chetzi deraisa and chetzi derabonon on 1 pruta, and it won't be chal. And you think it's chal, and you're going to eat tevel. You'll eat ma'aseh sheni mechutz Yerushalayim, not tevel. Ma'aseh sheni mechutz Yerushalayim, that's a problem. And therefore we prefer they don't do that. And therefore it's tova she'ele maturim. And therefore we understand why Chizkiah, we had the kash on Chizkiah, why the bottom broiv. No, ain't no maturim because somehow we don't have moist or rishonis, and there's no other solution like we tried going through all the sugya. Tell the Gemara, telling the Brisa, V'shenichnas liYerushalayim v'yotzo. Ma'aseh sheni that went into Yerushalayim and went out. V'amai, what's the problem? V'lehadev v'nahayle, bring it back into Yerushalayim. It's like dova sheyesh le'maturim. You should take the whole mix into Yerushalayim and eat everything over there. So why the bottle? We know in a case where you have a solution where you could eat it in a different way, you're not allowed to be mevatel it. So the Gemara, Beshen Nitma, it's Toma where it became Tome, and Tome, Ma'aseh sheni, you're not allowed to eat. So the Gemara of a Nifrike, let's be poider it if it's Tome. The Omar, Rabbi Lozo said, Minay le Ma'aseh sheni shenitma shepoidim oisoy, how do I know? The Ma'aseh sheni, even though they came to Yerushalayim, and now it became Tomeh, I'm allowed to be poider and money and then buy new fruit with it and then solve the issue. So let's see it again. The Omar Abloza, Minay le Ma'aseh sheni shenitma shepoidim oisoy afilu b'Yerushalayim, even if it came to Yerushalayim, shenemar, because it said in the pasuk lo yisuchal se'esoy. So Pashas Apostle means when you have Ma'aseh sheni outside in Yerushalayim, you live in Lud, and you have Ma'aseh sheni and you can't schlep it. So means you can't carry it to Yerushalayim because it's going to get ruined by the time to come to Yerushalayim. So the Torah says, you know what you should do? You should be poiter it on money. But we darshaning over here say so in a different meaning. The ein says elo achila, it means kilo seichol say so, it means you can't eat it because it's tomeh. How do we know Seiso is Achila? Shenema ve'iso masas meis pono. It says by Yosef, when his brothers came to visit him in Mitzrayim, that he gave Binyamin extra masas, and over there means he gave him extra food. So we could see that food is a loshen masas. So we darshaning when it says Kiloi Suchal Seiso, not only like the pastures when you can't carry it to Yerushalayim, it means if you can't eat it. Why can't you eat it? Because it's Tomeh. And what did the Torah tell you should do? You should be poider it. So what's the problem? They came into Yerushalayim and went out and it's Tomeh. You should be poider it. It's talking about Belekuach Bekesef Ma'aser Sheni. It's not talking about when I had fruit of Ma'aser Sheni that I took to Yerushalayim and I took it out and it became Tomeh. It's so much when I had Ma'aser Sheni outside Yerushalayim. I was poider it on money. With that money I went to Yerushalayim and I bought fruit. And now that fruit that I took outside Yerushalayim got Tomeh. And therefore, in that case, you can't. Said the Gemara, Lekuach Bekesef Ma'aser Sheni Namili Frukei. Also, that you can be poide if it's nitma. That nine we learned in the Mishnah, Lekuach Bekesef Ma'aser Sheni. If you have Ma'aser Sheni geld and you buy with it fruit, shenitma that became Tomeh, you could be poide it still. So what's the problem? Said the Gemara, Rabbi Yehuda. This Brisa holds like Rabbi Yehuda who argues on that Mishnah. The Omar who he holds, he covered that money of Ma'aser Sheni that he bought fruit of it that became Tomeh. You're not allowed to be poided it and you have to bury it. And that's why it's Tova Shein Matirim, and therefore it's bottle, and therefore it all becomes chulin. As the Gemara, Rabbi Yehuda, if it's Sumar Rabbi Yehuda, it's Sumar Belokuach Bekesef Ma'aser Sheni and it became Tomeh. My area, why are we talking about Yotza that came into Yerushalayim and came out? Afilu lo Yotza, even if it's still in Yerushalayim, Nami, you have a problem. Even if it never left Yerushalayim, because it became Tomeh, you can't be poider it. So if you can't be poider, it's Tova Shein Matirim. Why did the Brisa have to talk about where left Yerushalayim again? That can't be chat in the Brisa. Elo loilo, we must be talking about Betor. It's Soma Anupshat, really it's Soma this Ma'aser Sheni Shenichas Yerushalayim, the Yotza, it's Soma Tor. Umay Yotza, what does it mean Yotza? The Noful Mechitzo, it's Soma, the Mechitzas of Yerushalayim fell. And once the Mechitzas of Yerushalayim fell, so I can't do anything with it. Because I can't eat it, because there's no Mechitzas anymore. And I'm stuck, I'm in a problem. Frak the Gemara, and therefore it's bottle beroy. Frak the Gemara of Omar, Rava said, Mechitza lechoil, the whole din of Mechitzas by Ma'aser Sheni is lechoil deraisa. Mideraisa, you're only allowed to eat Ma'aser Sheni in the Mechitzas of Yerushalayim. But Mechitzas likloid, the din of Mechitzas, that once it comes into Yerushalayim, you can't be poided anymore. It's derabonon. It's only a din derabonon. Until here's Divrei Rava, and the Gemara is Medayik, the one who's asking the Kasha is Medayik from it, Lechora, V'chi gozer Rabbanon, when or Rabbanon goes that to the din that once it came into Yerushalayim, you can't take it out, you can't be poider it. Ki isnu lemechitzos, when the mechitzos still exist. Ki lisnu lemechitzos, like in our case where the mechitzos fell down, Loi gozer Rabbanon, Lechora Rabbanon will not go in such a case. So I should be able to be poider it, because the whole din that once it comes to Yerushalayim, I can't be poider it, it's in the Rabbanon. And here, l'chara Rabbanu will only go to when the mechitzas still exist. But in a case where the mechitzas fell down, l'chara the din should be that I should able to be poider it. So if I could be poider it, so why the bottle beroivit should be dover sheyesh loy batirim, and I should able to be poider it. So what's chat in the brisa? Said the Gemara, loy plug Rabbanon. When Rabbanon made the gzera, then once it comes into Yerushalayim, you can't be poider it. Rabbanon did make a difference. Ben isnu lechitzos, doesn't matter if the mechitzos existing, ben lesnu lemechitzos, if the mechitzos don't exist, Rabbanon made the gzera, you can't be poider it. And that's why it's Tova Shein Matirim, and that's why it's bottle beroiv. Rav Huna bar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav Sheishes Chodek Toni. He says a new pshat in the Brisa. It's one din, it's not two din in Ma'aser Sheni she Pochos and Shava Pruta, or it came into Yerushalayim v'yotzenu. It's Soma Ma'aser Sheni she'en bo Shava Pruta, that the same Ma'aser Sheni she'en bo Shava Pruta shenichnas Yerushalayim v'yotzenu, that came into Yerushalayim and went out. Ask the Gemara, Amai, what's the problem? When I had that, when I bring it back to Yerushalayim, I need it in there, what's the problem? So the Gemara, the naful mechitzois, the mechitzois fell down, and therefore I can't eat it. I can't be poidered and I can't eat it because there's no mechitzis. Frag the Gemara of a nifrike, let's be poidered, what's the problem? Rava said mechitza lechol, the whole din of mechitzis they could only eat in Yerushalayim is the Raisa. But mechitza likloit, that the whole din that once it comes to Yerushalayim I can't be poidered anymore, the Rabbanon. And says the Gemara, not Rava, says the Gemara, like we said before, this whole takana is only when the mechitzis still exists. When the mechitzis are not here anymore, and therefore, if Rabbanon will not go there when there's no mechitzis, so there's no din of klita of Yerushalayim, and therefore you can be poidered. So what's the problem? Let's be poidered. I have a solution. Says the Gemara, no, lo yipolu Rabbanon. The Rabbanon made the takana, they didn't make any chilek between if there is mechitzis or not, like we said at the top. Says the Gemara, Yochi, if so, that we're talking about whether mechitzis fell down, and that's why I'm in a problem, that's why I can't be poidered, and that's why it's bottle baroiv. My Aryeh and by Shava Pruta, why do we need to be talking about whether there's no less than Shava Pruta, Afilu Yesh Boy Nami, even if it's worth 10 Prutas? Once it came into Yerushalayim, I can't be poidered. So it's Tova Shein Maturim. Why do we need to talk specifically about something Shein by Shava Pruta? Says the Gemara, Lo Boy Karma. When the Brisa said Ein B'Shava Pruta, it doesn't mean only Ein B'Shava Pruta, even Ein B'Shava Pruta. Lo boy, not only Yesh boy, the Kolton, Le Mechitzois, that if it was worth a Pruta, and then for sure we're going to say that once it came to Yerushalayim, there is this Din D'Rabbanon, that the Mechitzos are Koltus, and I can't be poidered. Avol, Ein boy, if it doesn't have a Shava Pruta, Ein Moloi Koltu Le Mechitzos, maybe when mechitzas are only koilet when it has a value. When it has no value, when it's less than a shava prutas, maybe it doesn't have a din of klita of mechitzas, and therefore I could poider it, and therefore it's tova sheyesh le'maturim, and therefore it's not bottle. Komash malon, that's the chiddush of the brisa, that even though the less than shava pruta, the din of klita of mechitzas that can't be poider works even less than shava pruta. And therefore, the brisa didn't mean specifically where it doesn't have a shava less than shava pruta. It means even if it doesn't have a shava pruta. So, very good, we understand the brisa, so we don't have any cash on Chizkiah fits in, and now we're going to see the source of Chizkiah. The Chizkiah found a solution for less than Shava Pruta, but let's see who said there's any problem to be poide less than Shava Pruta. Toner Rabbanon, we learned, in Goal Igol Ish Mimasroi, if someone will be poide his Maisa, it says Mimasroi, it seems like from some of his Maisros, Veloi Kol Masroi, not every type of Maisa you can be poide. Prat, it's coming to exclude the Maisa Sheni. If you have Maisa Sheni, Shon Be Shava Pruta. If it's less than a Shava Pruta, you can't be poidered. And then we learned early on that Chizkiah has a solution for that you can be poidered on something that you poidered already yesterday. Itma, we learned Machloikis. Rav Alma Ein Boy. When it says in this brisa that you can't be poidered Maisa that doesn't have a Shava Pruta, it's almost that the Maisa itself, we have fruit of Maisa that doesn't have Shava Pruta, that's worth only half a Pruta. Ravasi Oma Ein Bechumshoi, that the Choymish doesn't have. That means whenever you're poide Maisa Sheni, you have to add a Choymish, a fifth. So if you have a value of 4 Prutas, you have to add, when you poide, you're not poide on 4 Prutas, you have to add 1 Pruta, a fifth, and we're going to see later on how you calculate the fifth. But so instead of 4, you have to give 5. So this shita holds in Bechumsha. It's talking about if when the pasuk tells you that Maisa with less than Shava Pruta you can't be poide. Not that the Maisa doesn't have, it means that the Choymish doesn't have. That means it's less than 4 Prutas of Maisa. Because if I have 3 Prutas value of Maisa Sheni, the Choymish is only going to be less than a Pruta, a bit less than 1, and therefore I can't be poide. So lefi that shita, it's a bigger chiddush. Then lefi the first shita Ein Boy means that if I have Maisa Sheni worth 1 Pruta, I could be poider it. Lefi the second shita, anything until 4 Prutas of Maisa Sheni, because the Choymish doesn't have a Pruta, I can't be poider. Rabbi Yochanan Oma Ein Boy. Rabbi Yochanan holds like Rav Ami. Rav Shimon ben Lakish Oma Ein Bechoymshoi. He holds like Rav Asi. Meisive, I have a kasha on the shita who holds Ein Boy. Maisa Sheni. She'en boy shove pruta. What do I do? Dayoi, it's enough. Sheyoima, they should say, hu v'chum shoy it, and it's choimish mechulul should be mechulul al moiser rishonis. Like the din of Chizkiah. It's exactly like the same din of Chizkiah. The only difference is, in this price it says dayoy. Dayoy means it's enough. Says the Gemara, Bishleima leman dama ein bechom shoyu. We talk about a big sum of ma'aser sheni, meaning they have a value of 3 prutas. Eine diktoni dayoy. That's why in the Brisa it says dayoy. It's enough. The afal gav the day is even though that in the ma'aser sheni there is a shava pruta, it's worth even 3 prutas. But because Kevon the bechum sheleka, since in the choimish is not a pruta, Shapir makes sense to say, even though the lechora we have here ma'aser sheni worth 3 prutas, and I have what to do with it, I could take it actually to Yerushalayim. I could add it maybe to another ma'aser sheni. The price says, it's enough. I'll give you an easy solution. It's enough to just be poided on moiser rishonos. Elo lemando ma en boy. Lefi the shitter, that means that the ma'aser sheni itself doesn't have a pruta. My dayo. Why the Bryce are telling me it's enough to be pointed to moiser rishonos? We know it should just say, the Bryce should say, ma'aser sheni she'en bo shama pruta. Oimer hu b'chum shem chol moiser rishonos. What's dayo? It's enough. Bishleima, if there is a lot, so it's telling you, even though that there's a big amount of ma'aser sheni, and you could take it to your shlai and say, no, we have a solution for you, and it's enough to do that. But if it's to a small amount, the Brisa should just tell you the solution. It shouldn't tell you it's enough. As if it's a bigger chiddush, it's telling you a bigger chiddush that we have a lot of ma'aser sheni. Elomai must be the Brisa is talking about that the whole ma'aser sheni is more than a shava pruta, and afilu achi you can't be poider it only on moiser rishonos, and that's a kasha on the shitta that says ein boy, and it's right. It's a shitta who says ein bechom shoy. So the more kasha, it's really a raya and a kasha on that shitta. And we don't have a teretz. Shkoyach, thank you very much. Everyone should have a good rest of Pesach and 5 days to the Oima. Shkoyach.